Madhouse and Mitch. Hang in there. We're just warming up the tubes. Snow sucks, the weather sucks. Oh my God. I'm not ready. I am not ready. Everything's screwed up today. All right, you'll find out. Here we come. Here we go. We got to do the warning. Because like I said last week, you can't make everybody happy. But it keeps me from being miserable when I put the warning up. Let's put the warning up.
Warning, Arch's Garage Live is not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Hold on, let's put this up. Hold on, let's get weird. Nice. You know, you gotta wonder, right? What's inside Arch's head when he puts up stuff like that? Hold on, wait. I want to do a sound test. All right, that's not. Can you? I'm going to shut up for a minute. So there's an old 1960s fluorescent desk lamp on right over here, and it actually does provide enough light for everything. I want to change it. I want to modify it and set it up. You know, it's the small tubes, you know, the really small ones. I want to set it up with LEDs because sometimes it makes a lot of noise. But I'm going to shut up and you guys tell me if you hear like the humming, like the fluorescent humming. You might hear the fan going in the back because the heater just ran and it's starting to wind down. So hold on. We'll do a silence test. Let me That's the fan. It'll shut off, but I don't think this thing's making noise right now. Let me see what you guys are doing. Let me take this off. Holy crap, I'm tired. I'm working all day and a complete fail. Henry wants to know where I am. I don't know where I am. Snow gotta go. Oh, wait, just shut off. Wait. So the fan is off. So it's just, if you hear anything, let's see what Big Mike. What's Big Mike doing? What's Big Mike say? He goes, I've been shot 44 magnums for years. All I hear is humming. Right? Oh. And he goes, I've been shooting. Yeah. Oh, jeez, that's loud. Oh my God. Yeah, that could break your eardrum. Yeah. He goes, yeah. Shooting. Yep. Yeah. Ing. With the ing on the end of it. Ing? Hi, my name is Ing. Pleased to meet you. Hello from cold and snowy Illinois, Mitch says. So how much, Mitch? What's your weather like? How much snow are you getting? Is it turning to freezing rain? I need to know because my daughter's trying to make her way across the country. Let me move this back a little bit and turn it down just a scotch. You know, we don't need to test it anymore. So I'll turn it down a little bit. And so she's trying to make her way from Arizona. So they left California. And I'm like, you can't, because they wanted to go somewhere and they wanted to eat and they wanted to get a hotel. And I'm trying to tell them, like, when they were getting ready to leave, I actually wanted them to leave like a day before. But I didn't say anything. I'm like, something's going to happen. I don't know what it is yet, but something's going to happen. And this was a few days before all this crap. And I'm like, you have to get ahead of the storm. You have something like 11 states they have to get through. So you have a long road. So if you get ahead of the storm, but you can't just keep driving. But they have a friend of theirs that is in another car. So that's a concern because I think he's got grandparents or something in South Carolina or somewhere in one of the Carolinas. And they wanted to go that way and then follow him around and make sure he got off okay. And then they were going to take the rest of the way. And I'm like, oh, jeez, this is not going to work. I'm like, I don't think you understand because they're young. They're like 25, 24, 25. And they've never been through hurricanes and blackouts and mega snows and ice storms. And they really haven't. I'm like, I don't think you understand what this is, right? It's 2,000 miles of storm front. So I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. Henry says, a photo of me and mom. What's that? Hello, man. A photo. What's that mean? What are you talking about? Uncle Mark. Hey, Mark. Mark, what's going on up by you? He says, hi all from Manitoba. It's frigid here tonight. Negative 36 degrees Fahrenheit. I just can't imagine that. Joey's here. He goes, Florida's looking so good right now. Yeah. Yep. I told him go to Florida. You remember that? You remember, what was it? The Exorcist one, right? Where Timmy, the priest, goes down to Florida to meet his mom, right? To see his mom. She's all messed up. She's lying in a hospital bed. She's going, Timmy, why do you do this to me, Timmy, come to Florida. Timmy. Remember that scene? I remember stupid shit like that. I can't help it. That's the kind of stuff I remember, but I can't remember important things. Madhouse says, he says, the light is quiet as a church. The light is quiet as a church. Oh, good. What does Mikey say? Big Mike. He's talking about the picture of the kid and E.T. Huh? What picture of the kid and E.T.? Huh? What about the picture of the kid and you got to help me, fellas. I can't. I'm tired. Him and mom. Who and mom? Who's him and mom? What? How do we even get to mom and him? Where are we? Am I on the right channel? Like, are you guys on the right channel? I sometimes wonder, right? I don't know what's happening. Hey, Papa 68. He goes, hey, Art. Johnny Bravo's here. Hold on. Let's back up. Evening, gents. Doran and I still waiting on the storm of the century to hit here. So far, blah. And Papa says, hey, Arch, worrying about our kids never ends right. I know. Mine are in their 30s. Yeah. Manhouse says, it's the picture you posted. What picture did I post? Huh? Picture on what? What picture did I post? What, you mean like my thumbnail with the tractor on it? I'm so lost because you're fucking killing me. What E.T.? Oh, the E.T. Oh, you mean the video short. What picture? It's not a picture. It's a segment. It's a little video intro, short segment. It's not a picture. They're videos. You gotta help me. I'm tired. I don't know what's going on. Where do you see what happened? I don't know what's going on. I'm so tired. I'm half out of my mind. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I don't know. I'm not paying attention to anything. Ken said something. Wait, what's Ken saying? I'm not paying attention. I told you I go full retard whenever possible. No offense to retards, because he goes, oh, someone comments, and you look comment 5 minutes later. Yeah. The sea monster and the hunters. Yeah, that was some weird shit, isn't it? Henry goes, yeah. Yep. Yeah, now I understand. All right, I'm back. Oh, my God. I'm back. No, I'm not. I'm just stopping in, right? I'm just stopping in. Yeah, it didn't work out. Yeah, Big Mike. It did not work out. I'll show you. I took some footage. I haven't looked at it yet, so we can look at it together. I'm not ready now for the storm because I tried to put the snow thrower on. And, the problem with all this stuff is it's old. And like me, And it's old, and a lot of stuff is broken, and things are getting worn. And Mike, this you might see. I think we'll start backwards in the shots, but the belts were smoking, and the motor couldn't run the blades on the snow thrower, and it was really overloading the motor. At one point, the motor stalled. It stopped. And the motor was smoking because, I do burn a little bit of oil. And this kind of comes back to Big Mike and I talking about the loading. Remember, these motors are old. My motor blows a little smoke out of one side anyway. And they are older. And when Big Mike was cutting all that hay up in his farm up there in upstate New York, it didn't just leak oil, because I was thinking the other night, like, there's an low oil cutoff. I think what they call it actually has a name. Oil miser? No, oil. They actually have a name on it for Sunstar on the Cola 20s. And it should have shut the engine off. But I don't think he completely ran out of oil, because it should have shut the engine off. The oil minder. Yeah, Earth to Arch. Totally. Yeah, I'm not here. Right? I'm just stopping through. Right? That's not really me. It's the artist formerly known as Arch. Remember? Prince? Oh, God. See, I can remember stuff like that, but I can't put two and two together every now and then. I just can't do it. So I was thinking back, I'm like, when Mike kind of fried his motor, well, his motor's broken, but it's not fried. It certainly bangs a lot. Like, why didn't the low oil minder shut the engine down if it was leaking oil? Because it was leaking oil. It was leaking oil from his gauge. And I just thought that was weird. So we kept talking about the extra loading being put on the engine or all that. And remember now, it's a 20 horsepower motor, but it's driving a drive shaft. It's driving a gearbox. It's got all those belts, and it's driving. How many blades do we have, Mike? 2, 3? I don't remember. It's driving all of that in very, very heavy grass. And in this case, you'll see it's trying to drive this big snow thrower auger. The belts are an issue, and I've been telling Mike about that our motors are leaning forward. So I tried to prop the motor up by shimming it with like body shims. And I was able to do that, and it's probably closer, but he goes, what's 3? It was still a good job. 3 blades, it's a lot. And also, what's questionable, too, is that when I first set it up, it's on my channel. I didn't run it for very long, but I did start to notice the belt issues. And I didn't have to blow snow. And it was 3 years ago, and this thing's been sitting outside. And I think maybe even some of the bearings in the auger, even though I lubricated them, I mean, it's been sitting out in the rain and in the snow, and, it's old, and you'll see it. We'll take a look in a minute. So look what I have, guys. I know I got to watch my diabetes tonight. You think? All right. Maybe that's part of my problem. Should I check my blood a little bit? I will, definitely. I'll check it in a minute. But I'm also just very tired. I've been, crawling around it, and there was some other issues. I got to use my plasma cutter today, which is kind of cool. And aside the belt issues, I rebalanced the motor as best I could, which is good anyway, because if I do put the cutting deck back on, we can kind of see what's going on there. Now, since I took the motor out of Mike's parts tractor, now I have a better understanding of how the motor is supposed to sit. And this week, at some point after the storm and everything else I got to do, I want to order us a set, full set of new motor mounts. And when Mike leaves, we'll have mapped out the whole motor mount issue and the belt issue. Now, his tractor's in a little bit better shape than my tractor, and some parts of the parts tractor are in better shape than all of our tractors. Some parts, a good percentage of them. But they're all old. Everything is old, and I was hoping I could use it. Now, it's going to start snowing in a little while. It's going to snow all the way to early Monday morning, and at some point, I'm shot, so at some point, I'll come out tomorrow. I was up early again today, and I'm going to have to disconnect this whole contraption and put the plow back on and then move. And my big green snowblower is over here, which is in the wrong spot, because if the wind blows, I won't be able to get it out the door. I'll have to shovel the door because there's just nothing back there for, I don't know, like a mile. And, the wind just drives the snow right up against the back door. So, like, there's nothing is set right now. Anyway, I did get Mike's tractor, all of the parts taken off of it. We'll take a little look at that, too. And I moved the parts tractor, and I found a nice location in the back. I moved a few things around back there because I have other projects coming up as well. So he's been out of my garage for a day or so now. And all of the parts were on the table, and I boxed them up early this morning, and I'll put them away later. So I took a lot of parts off of it. Just to put away. I don't want to leave the hydraulics and the lines out indefinitely. Because you know what it is that it's like everything, that some projects that are not immediate, it might be years before I get to it, right? You know how the toy thing goes. And these things are old, and when Ken and I, like, I guess I know Henry got rid of a whole bunch of stuff, but Ken and I are like, Ken, you need storage. Like, I have some, but a lot of it is just outside. Rotting, right? And problems happen when, all the paint, whatever paint was on this thing came off. We'll see it. We'll see it in a minute. So, let's see. Joey says, mine is a 1985, I think. Gilson, 32-inch with a 10 horsepower Takumi. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, but you have the weather there, too. You just don't have the rain and all the other crap. Well, no, you don't have the snow. You have the rain, and you have depending on where you are in Florida, you're going to have the rain, and you're going to have salt air, I would think. I mean, how do you get away with that? And then you have marshland, so it's got to be damp. I mean, almost everything was marshland. Here, we're so close to the water that we get the fog with salt in it that rolls in on top of everything else. So I'm wondering how much snow we're going to get. I think it's going to turn to slush because that's what usually happens. Is it just turns to crap? What does my X say here? Because travel restricted. Oh, okay. Long Island Spotlight. All right. Yeah, I'll look at that later. But yeah, we're trying to figure out Christina's slow march. So we think she's going to go to New Mexico tomorrow and find her way there, and then cut across the tip of Texas into the Neverland. We'll see. We'll take it one step at a time. But we're looking for the areas with snow, the areas that mostly had snow and no real ice. And because snow, most of those states can handle. But the ice and all that and the power outages, I'm hearing bad things that's going on in Texas. They have some issues. Jamie says, hey, Jamie. He goes, we all have challenges. Yeah. Mad says, he goes, I was going to get a grass catcher for the GT tractor, but it's going to be in the way of the gas tank, the tank fill neck, because it's yeah, that can be problems. Hey, Brett. Oh, Brett, you missed my toll retardation. Oh, brain fart episode. Jamie says, he goes, that stuff will taste good, but probably not good for you. Of course it's not good for me. Yeah, it's not. I'll have a little bit. I already had one a little while ago after dinner. Joey says, I'm not far from the Hudson. So, yeah, the snow hits up pretty hard. Yeah. Yeah, and, everybody's going to get a little something. I think at some point you're going to catch some kind of weather from this. I know Connecticut's supposed to get a whole bunch. Papa says, my 25-year-old Tecumseh 1030 snowblower is gassed up in here in Ontario for tomorrow. Yeah, good deal. Yeah, I mean, almost everything was ready. But then I was like, oh, let me put this on. Too many challenges, too many things. I had to cut a piece of steel out of my way because it was hanging down, so I used the plasma cutter. I had to try to lift the motor up, and because the belts were an issue, I wasn't going to do it, but I'm like, no, it already threw a belt. What it'll do is it, and you'll see it, it'll throw the front belt, and then the back belt will cross pulley. So it'll do this, which is how it throws the front belt. So there's a lot of alignment issues there. And I think really the only way to properly solve it is when I go to take my motor out. One belt will pretty much run my cutting deck, but I don't run my cutting deck under the kind of load that Big Mike does upstate. Because it's like, in the beginning of the year up there for him, it's basically like cutting hay. Pretty much is what it is. So I think that might have contributed to effing up the motor. And as I think you're going to see the smoke. Let me see if I can find it. I mean, everything was smoking. I mean, at one point, I didn't film all of it because I was getting really tired. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I was going to pull it out and turn it around and get it ready to give it a shot. And I'm like, oh my, this is not working right. This is not working out. Let me see where the footage is here. I want to go backwards. Let me put it here. Let me see what you guys are doing. Bravo says, I need a complete grass catcher assembly for my Forrest Gump vintage snapper. Yeah, those are kind of around. Those fit nice, by the way. They're very much backing out of the way. Mad has one. Mailhouse, don't you still have one for that? Didn't you have, Mailhouse, didn't you have a rear grass catcher whole setup for a snapper? Is that something you still have, or did you get rid of it? I seem to remember you had one. Yeah, don't forget to have extra shear pins. Yeah, good reminder to everybody. Oh, just use grade 8 bolts, that's all. Yeah, and belts, yep. Bolts and belts. Yeah, you're gonna need it. You're gonna need it. We'll see what happens. It's just gonna be up here. The forecast is a full day of snow, or a full day of whatever combination. Usually it pisses rain first, then the temperature drops, or it'll be freezing cold like it is now, which is 13 degrees. Then it will warm up, piss rain, and then that will stop, and somehow or other the temperature will change, and then it will snow on top of that. And then if you get out in time, depending upon how the storm comes, because I think Monday morning or Monday afternoon, the sun will come out and the temperature will change, and you'll start to melt, which will clog up a snowblower, which is when my plow comes out. And I find that for here, that's the best combination. If you can catch the snow right, you can blow it with the snowblower, move most of it out of your way, and then depending upon how the day progresses or what goes on, it's going to start to slush up and then eventually ice up. The snowblower can't handle that, but the plow can. And then I just shove it out of my way. Then it starts to get really cold and it gets dark. And you want to go in and you're done. I'm like, I'm done now. So that's the thing, is probably just what keeps happening. It seems like that's how it's always been. Brett says, meow. Bravo says, mine disintegrated years ago since I restored the RER. I'd love to have a working one. I don't know. What did Mailhouse say? Did he disappear? Mailhouse, we asked you a question. Where are you? He's not here. He's here, but he's not here. He's lurking at the moment, right? He's busy thinking about the pea lady and joyous times. Let me show you this thing. Let's see, where is it? I'll put this over here. Hold on. Move that to there. Is it? It should be here. I got my headset on. I got to put the audio on. And I'm going to turn my mic off in a minute. Let me back up. Let's see. So that's that. Those are the pictures. Let's see what this one is, because I haven't even seen it yet. All right. Total waste. Okay. It's loading up the belts. It's frying the belts. They're cooking. It's putting such a load on the motor. I think some of this is just, it's just been sitting too long. And I'm running out of steam. We got to get it off. I got to put the plow on. Yeah. I got to let it air out. It's cooking the belts. Oh, it was smoking. What a mess. Smoked up the shop. I got to pull the hood back off. I got to pull all this whole... Let's see. There's all kinds of tins in the way. Oh, it's hitting tins and stuff. You see the smoke coming from underneath? It's coming from by the belts. Not just the exhaust. It's not happy. Gotta warm up. Something not right. All right, let me get out of here. This thing moved around. Let's go backwards. Doesn't like it.
Something happened.
I had a hard time starting it again.
What are we hitting?
It did not like it.
We hitting the front? God, now what? All right, so I'm almost done. The cable snapped right over here. This cable I have in stainless steel. I may be able to fix this, but not tonight. I'm exhausted. So I'm going to remove the cable, right? Get rid of all of this. Take all this off. Get it out of the way. I just need the electrical part. And it was going up here. And what you would do, it's like a collet. So what you would do is you would twist it to lock it, and then twist it the other way to unlock it, and the twisting back and forth is really what sheared the cable. And then you push in or pull out, and that adjusts your flapper. Really nice from the cab. Well, we're going to go old school, right? I grabbed that from the parts snowblower that Mike gave me.
Because it was stuck.
Just because it was there. So we'll put that over here in a few minutes.
Yeah, because it's been sitting out.
I got to plug everything in, and we'll give it a quick test.
Yep. So that broke. That's the collet assembly.
All right, one casualty. So this is the chute height adjuster, you know, the height of the snow throw, the flapper on the top. This broke, the cable broke, this was getting jammed. It happened last time, and this has been sitting outside for a couple of years. Let me go show you, and we're just going to have to fix it the conventional way.
Another casualty. Let's see, what's in here?
All right, let's give it a quick test. Let me get...
The motor's smoking. It does not like this.
That's good. Rolling good. Engine's real cold. All right, let me shut it off, let it air out in here, and I want to get the lid on.
That's backwards here. I'm going backwards. Is this anything here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's good.
Who cares about that? Here's the piece I cut off.
That's cleaned up nice. All right. A little bit of lube. Let's put it down, and at some point, we're probably
That's the back end of it.
Guys. But not right. All right. I just used the vice grip to help.
Let's see. What's that?
Spacer in the meantime, because you need a spacer there.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Oh, here's one of the bolts in the front of the engine.
See it, but you can see how it's beveling and bowing. Because there's nothing underneath it to support it. It's just a hole.
Yeah, the bushings are shot.
There's supposed to be rubber there. But the others look good. And now we've confirmed everything is tight.
It's old.
All right, I'm a little happier.
Nice piece,
I gotta keep moving though. So belt's back on. Everything is basically back in. This one, I'll climb underneath. I'll see if he can get you some shot.
Yeah, I gave you a shot of that. We're going backwards, so.
So I took one of the belts, the forward belt off. Pulled the tension off. Loosened up the motor mounts. I was able to get to them.
So you don't do it with the belt tensioner?
Off. And I drove in one more shim on the front and each side. So now the plan is, we'll get it tight again, make it nice and tight. And I think there was a shim used underneath they used because you can't get a washer in there. So we'll make sure we have.
All right. These are the shims.
So I know the motor's leaning too far forward.
Yeah, is that it for today? Yeah, that's it for today. Yeah, it was smoking like a demon. Where was that? And what was the other day that I was fooling around with? It's a nice system. Big Mike got a really nice one. A dual stage.
All right.
But you could see here when you put
because the motor is leaning, it's causing problems.
Yeah, let me show you.
Same thing with Mike's, although his belt is the one in the rear. Anything.
Oh, yeah. Look. Wait, I'm going to pinch the belt. Watch.
And see how that fits? So now these are half-inch belts. This is like a 3/8.
So
this is a little smaller. All through my solution. So I think that's
spinning
a very big.
So let me pinch the other belt. Watch.
This is the same size belt, but look.
Look at that.
That will never do anything. It'll never stay on. It's the same.
So
size
something's
belt
not
as the
right
one in the
here.
rear.
I don't have any more time to fool with it. That's just not going to happen. That's pretty cool. That worked out great. Little pull strap. Pull the idler out of the way.
Yeah, that's much better.
So a lot of breakage and
All right. Now that the hood's off, we have it in.
all right, that's it for that. What else did I get? I think this is just oh yeah, here's what's on the table. Some of it. Nice. So I don't want this stuff left out because it'll get ruined, especially the hydraulics. So it's all boxed up and put away. Because it's hard to find this shit. You know, where are you going to find some of this stuff? It's not easy. Yeah, that's good. So that's done. So there we go. We got Mike and I have parts. Is there anything else there? This is just picking up this machine. That's not really important. Oh, this was cool. So I was hanging out with Mike. Let me come back for a second. So I was hanging out with Mike the other day, and eventually this will be on the channel, but I was fooling around with the lathe, and after just spending so much time mounting that motor, the electric motor to the lathe and aligning it and trying different things. And I made the motor reverser and all the other stuff. And I'm trying to align it. It just kept throwing belts. And I got it really, really close. Like the belts are very much aligned on the pulleys. And there's just like nothing else I can do to align it. And it's not easy to do because a little bit of a movement, the way the motor sits, there's not a lot of movement, but it's heavy. And if you just want to snug it one way or the other way a little bit, what'll wind up happening is it moves too much. But I used squares. I used a level. I used a plumb bob. I tried to measure every direction to make sure that the motor was sitting in the right position with the rest of the whole rig that this guy made. And as far as I can tell, when I put it all back together, it's about as close as it needs to be. Because belts are belts. I mean, it's not uncommon for you to have, especially like a flat belt. I mean, you ever see flat belts going over the ceiling and coming down? None of that stuff is ever really perfectly aligned, but you get it really close. And I'm like, I can't understand why the belt won't stay on. And searching, for fellas that do this, and I've been fooling around with their old lathes and what have you. At some point, they all say, if you're really having problems, try some, belt dressing. And the best one I think is the rosin, but I'm like, all right, let's just try this liquid stuff. Let's take a look.
So I had a lot of problems getting that belt to stay on. And after doing all that work and trying to align everything and realign it, I got it to the point where it was mostly staying on. And then Big Mike was here and we were just chatting and I picked up some belt dressing. And I hadn't had a chance to address the belts yet. So this is just a CRC food grade, right? And come in contact with, I guess, I wouldn't say it's edible, but at least it won't kill you right away. So we're all ready to go. The day he was here, like towards the end when we were hanging out on Saturday or Sunday, I think it was Sunday, which is a few days ago now, I sprayed it on, and before he left I tried it and it ran fine. And then the next day I tried it a couple of times, but I've been busy. So let's try it again. So normally it might tend to stay on better in reverse. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Let's just give it a shot. No problem. Stays right where I need it. And it's been sitting there. What they tell you is to let it sit overnight or for a few hours. But yeah, it's been sitting for days. No problem. Let me get you in and take a look. All right, so you can see, just, food grade CRC. The newer stuff. There's our control panel. All right, we're set up low speed. So we're going to start off in forward and just watch the belt. Let me turn a little light on if it helps. Dead solid. Shut it off. Let's go to reverse. We got to wait for it to stop. Dead solid.
That's nice.
I like it. Loving it.
That's nice. I think that's it. That's all that's here. Yeah, that's all that's here on this one. Mike just dinged me. So this is the parts tractor. So this is what... well, this is what's left of it. There's not much left. Okay, that's not a good pick. There was something wrong there. Yeah, there's not much left of it.
It's getting naked, fellas. I cleaned out all in here so I could get to these bolts. This was packed too. So I want to see if I can drop.
Yeah, I was able to drop it
here.
I was able to drop that. I think it's just more stuff here. Yeah, as I was building my parts assemblies. I gotta clear my throat before I speak.
So I labeled all this up. Okay, and that all goes with this. They're in excellent shape. There is some nicks and what have you, but these things are very high pressure, and I'll get a closer look tomorrow. But they look like they're pretty good. This is a little locked up on this end, so before I put it away, I'm going to free it up. We'll cap these, and we'll get it in a box. I did push it back and forth, so I tried to empty it as much as I could. It was a little stuck. Like I couldn't turn the wheel all the way until I got past a point where probably where it had maybe a little rust or just some junk in the bottom. I could see it's probably going to leak. It's going to need to be rebuilt. I don't know how we would do that, how you would get it apart. There is the dust seal in there for sure. I'm not sure how you would get this apart. If it's possible to get it apart, we don't know. We don't know. Might be that this dust seal, it comes off, and then underneath it might be something that we can grab with a wrench or something, or a socket. Let's just hope we never have to really get to that point. But like I said, we'll cap it off. This came out real nice. These are in really good shape. I don't see any nicks or anything. So this is the slave cylinder, very similar to that one, but this is to lift the deck. And of course we got these guys, got that out, no problem. Mikey, Big Mike showed me a little door that you have to push aside with one bolt. So now we're back to here. This all looks great. We'll have to move it around. I decided that we're going to take this assembly out if we can, because mine got stuck, and a lot of these that it gets stuck so bad, like here and there, that it actually blew out the grease fitting. So there is some issues there. It's a little nasty, but we'll see if we can get in there and get this out, get it apart.
So that's all in good shape.
It's basically an idler assembly.
Let's see.
Well-worn motor, because my motor smokes. Around and move it around.
Oh yeah, here's the motor.
Stand. We can rotate, not this motor, but my motor and his old motor, his broken one first, and we'll be able to rotate it around and move it around. Isn't that thing just so cool?
Oh wait, look at this. Wait.
We got another plate. I got it here real good. We still have a few more things to take off. That's for tomorrow. So we're almost done there. You can see, I just love this thing. Isn't that thing just so cool? You can see all the darn tools I have out. There's a lot of big bolts, smaller ones, pretty much cleaned off. Here's one of the doors. This one here on that side comes off. It's just a little screw. That's right there.
And mine is missing.
And it'd be a good idea to take this off, too, because you can get in. He's got issues with this whole steering box here, that pump box.
I don't know if there is issues with it.
We're going to take this off and all of that. We'll
all right, let me
this
come
off
back
tomorrow. And lastly
what?
Now this is the pump.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to go there. Let me come back. So his steering, I've kind of figured it out. So when I went to take off the cylinder, the drive cylinder for the steering system, I went to go turn the wheels and to get at the bolts, and they wouldn't budge. Like I got to a certain point, I'm like, why is this not going? And then it like popped and it moved. And so the cylinder was a little stuck, which was odd. And what it could have been was a piece of dirt, junk, goopy. Basically, you run tranny fluid in this hydraulic system. And it could have had air in it. And see, when you would turn his steering wheel, nothing would really happen to the wheels. They wouldn't really turn the wheels with the engine off. And it should be able to turn it. And it's now my understanding, I'm not sure, but it's now my understanding that there is no physical connection. If the system is filled with hydraulic fluid and there's nothing in its way, because it's old and goopy inside and there's no air, then as you turn the steering wheel, it's basically rotating the pump in such a way is that it's still applying pressure to the slave cylinder to move the wheels. There's no other physical connection. And I was thinking there was something wrong with the control valve, which is part of the steering column. It's that big laminate thing in there with 5 hydraulic line connections, flag style connections. And I think it just had crap in it and or air. And it was blocked because it's old. It's been sitting and it's old. So there may not be anything wrong in it. So I capped everything. I capped all the hydraulic lines. Anything that's going to be outside is capped and protected. Because like I said, I don't know how long I'm going to be storing it out there. And we don't need anything else that's on it right now. So I can move forward. Let me catch up with you guys. Let me see. Brett says, meow, mine is still holding up. Joe says, due for a rehab, 300-foot stone driveway takes its toll. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Papa says, Bravo says, Papa says, I don't know what brand it was. It came with the mower. Mad says, I believe that the Forrest Gump rear engine snapper is 30-inch cut. I've seen one of those grass catchers with a 30-inch cut snapper. Man says, I had to leave the grass catcher for my 28-inch snapper high vac. Can't you just use either one? Does it really matter? Johnny says, mine is 8 horsepower, 28 cut. Likely the same grass catcher setup. Yeah, probably the more common one. Mine fits right through my gate, but I think my gate is like 32 inches. I forget. I made it a little bit bigger, my smaller gate. I made it a little bit bigger so I could pass through a lot of different things. I didn't want to make it too wide, but, because I have the big driveway gate. So are those belts made of Kevlar? I don't know. Mad says, on the front of your tractor? No, I don't think so. I think that I have a couple of the original Sunstar Simplicity belts here that I took off the parts tractor. They were like original. And I tried using them, one of them, because what I had on had jumped. I think it destroyed the one that was in the front. I think it's still around. I think I put a piece of tape over it just for sizing. And then the one that was still there was pretty beat up. So I'm like, well, let me see what's here. We'll use the old ones for now and see if this will work. Grace says, I picked up a small travel trailer to store. Yeah, right. To store my small projects, chainsaws, drills, weed whackers, and other. Yeah. Plenty of material for my YouTube channel. Yep, that's not a bad thing. I wouldn't mind one of those shipping containers, the big cargo containers. Oh, that would be nice. Even not necessarily a big one, a smaller one. I saw a military one that was in the area. I didn't have the money for it, but it was, one of them green military style. It had some interior in it. It's all made out of like steel and aluminum. And the guy didn't want a lot of money for it either. And a lot of these guys will deliver it for you. For a while there, they were getting ridiculously expensive. Like, I don't know, something happened like with the lockdown, all that shit was going on with the containers and the prices were soaring. But before that, they were not expensive. They've come down. I have a spot for it. If I clean up, then I'll have a spot for it. But I don't want the really big one, big Connex, Yeah, but that's a good idea. Working on a storage container or trailer, back 18-wheeler for a storage work area. That's it, and it works good. That's what that was one of the things that Diesel Creek had for a while. First, he had the awning, and he put some of those trailers up, and he got more of them, and he has a lathe in one of them. I don't think that lathe ever made it to his shop. He doesn't really use it that much, but I think it's such a big lathe that wherever you put it, it kind of is where it stays. Unless you got a real hankering to move it, that's no easy task. But for him, it's not hard because he's got all that equipment.
But yeah, let me see what Mike said. Big Mike said. But yeah, total failure, you know. Yeah, it did not budge. Yeah, that belt. And it's been fine. I checked it again the other day. I'm like, go figure, right? Yeah, it's like it's glued on because in a way it kind of is. It's kind of like glued on. Because it was really close and they are kind of conical pulleys, although one on the top is a bit odd. You don't need two conical pulleys. You need one with an associated pulley. But you definitely need one. So the ones that are on the motor, electrical motor, they are definitely conical pulleys. Everything's all clean. Everything's all lubricated. Everything's aligned. And I'm like, why am I still throwing belts? Well, old school stuff requires some old school tricks. You know, it's just that simple. See, Joyce says, semi-trails are often listed for free. Yeah, not up here. Just hard to find some to transport once you get... yeah, it's not too hard to remove the wheels. Yeah, you can... I know what you're talking about. Yeah, those... There's not much money in those, right? They're not like the Connex boxes. They used to be made out of aluminum, but I think a lot of them today are just composite with the fiberglass top. And a lot of people don't... You're right. A lot of people don't want them. You know, if you could just find somebody to bring it to you, that's really the cost. But for what we use it for, it's like perfect storage, just out of the weather. You know, that's why that cable broke, because I had to twist it back and forth to get it to free up. Last time it had locked up. And so now I got the broken cable. I got all the other issues. I think it will kill the motor. That's the other thing, too. That motor was not happy driving it. And it could be that there's some junk, you know, rust or something within the bearings of the auger. There's all of that. It's all very rusty now. The paint has come off of it. Even though I've lubricated it and I ran it a few years ago, that doesn't mean nothing. I can't tell you if the auger is spinning properly or not. So I don't know what to do with it. It really is, it fits a Sunstar, really, is what it fits. And now it has a broken cable, so you have to get out if you want to adjust that little flapper. Could I fix the cable? Maybe. I'm going to box it all up. I don't know. I mean, what would I ask for it? $150? Honestly, what I could do with it is the mechanism that attaches to the tractor is similar to the mechanism that attaches to my tractor that supports the plow. And I could I modified that to make the lifting forks. You know, because mostly what I use my tractor for is to move around all this heavy shit. That's mostly what I need it for, because I can't physically move all this stuff. I can tow, lift, push, nudge. Sometimes I lift up tractors and I can clean the deck, or some of these other machines. I can get underneath there and wash the deck before I bring it in. Like, there's all kinds of things that I've been doing with it. A lot of tractors don't want to move. They drag them across the yard. You know how it is, right? I picked up the snow thrower and I brought it around. I've picked up all kinds of things with the little forks that I made. So I don't know, maybe I want to make something from that. I don't know. I'm not thinking about it. I'm trying not to. I have to think long. When I get up again early tomorrow, I need to take it off, and then I need to put the plow setup back on, and then move everything around in the snowstorm and get ready for the snowstorm. That's it. I'm done with it for now. Let's see what Mike says. He says, oh, wait. Let's see. Oh, wait. Mike says, take the barrel out of it and weld the plate to the bottom, turn it into a bucket. Yeah, you could. You know, I mean, my plow works really good. What I do want to do is, what's that fellow's name? He was on, he's the guy that has his own channel. Is that, like a lot of us, gray hair, gray beard and everything. He races tractors, fucks around. He gave me a really good idea. We were on Ken's show a couple of weeks back, and he said, if you're going to drive it across gravel, you plow across gravel or even the yard, he had welded a piece of pipe to the bottom. So instead of the scraper, he said the only mistake he made is that he welded it to the scraper. So now the scraper is no longer a scraper, but a decent sized piece of pipe. And it will kind of, instead of digging in to like your gravel or your yard or whatever,
it'll roll and it will still push dirt or push snow or whatever. I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll bolt it on or something like that. That might be a possibility. But yeah, turning it into a bucket, that's a possibility. Although the thing is though that my plow has the springs on the top, and I've set them up now in such a way so that it dives like this. So when I come up to the curb cut, or when I was doing my neighbor's driveway, even my driveway, it's somewhat rutted, like the curb area. And if you attack it and the scrape is too low and it catches something, instead of bucking the whole tractor, it folds over, and you're like, oh, back it up. And the other thing I use it too is that as I get close to the curb, like I'm pushing from the street up to the curb, as I get up to the curb, I start lifting the plow, and then I push in and it folds over, it compacts it down, and I back away. I get like the power stroke, right? Where you kind of like, boom. How's that again, Arch? Right? Ah, jeez. Why do I animate? I don't understand. I'm like a child. I can't help it. I got to make noises and everything. But yeah, it works really good. And those springs help with that. And then I have a little chain, too, that I can throw on there when I want to override the springs. And if I don't want it to dive or fool around and adjust it, I just put the chains on it and it stops it from moving too far. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, PVC pipe might work. Sure, I have a whole bunch of that, too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's another good idea. By the way, one of you guys, I missed the free 40-foot, 4 miles from my house, where I believe the transporter clipped under me for himself. Huh? What do you mean? Oh, he got it from underneath you. Yeah, contractor Mike was calling me up. What was it, yesterday or whatever? He's like, oh my God, I'm trying to get a snowblower. They're like going instantly. Yeah, because it didn't really snow here for the past couple of years. It already snowed once this year. Now we got a big one bearing down, and anybody that has a snowblower that's trying to sell it, somebody else is looking to buy it. And it's just buying them, like clearing out, as soon as an ad goes up on like Marketplace, it's gone. And now, they started asking good money for it. I said, but the problem is, Mike, most of those things are going to need work. If you put a guy on it, because he wants to make money, if you put a guy on it, I can almost guarantee you that guy's going to be standing there with the thing stuck in the middle of a snowstorm. Well, is there any way maybe Sunday or Monday or whatever you can come, you can take a look at it? I'm like, that's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. Because if it really needs work, which it probably does, I'm not doing that. I'm fooling around with my own crap. No, it's too late now. A lot of these, like, they're broken. I just did 2 snowblowers, and I got that big tractor one out to the guy. He came and picked it up the other night. It needed a whole bunch of work. It wouldn't have, first of all, it didn't even run, but it wouldn't have lasted the snowstorm without doing to it what I did to it. I want to get that one out next, too. That big red one with the tracks on it. That was a nice machine. The little guy I got for my neighbor. We'll see how it performs tomorrow. I don't know. If there's a lot of snow, I don't think that thing's going to do very well. If he gets out and hits it in stages, then it'll be fine. Then it'll be good. Yeah, he took it. Yeah, I got it, Joe. I figured it out. It takes me a while, Of course, because as soon as you want something, like somebody wants it, they're probably looking for it, or they know they would like one, and when they see a deal. I mean, if you have the money in hand and you have the way of moving it, and you don't need that many, even if you have a big yard. Joyce, this is it's never just one thing. I know it's never just one thing. Sometimes you can get away with just the one thing, but you know what happens? I think I heard some of the story today from Wayne. It's like, yeah, I mean, if you cheapen the person out, cheapen the mechanic out, and you're not going over the whole thing, when the storm comes, you're going to be sorry. And if you try to do too much with it, you're going to be sorry. That's when you're going to find the part that's about ready to snap. So usually when I get a machine, I tell everybody, because I don't work the way they do. I don't have like a shop that sets up like that. I won't do work like that anymore. You drop your machine off, I'm going to go over the whole thing. if you don't want me to do that, don't drop off your machine. I'm not patching it together. I'm going to go over the whole machine. If it needs something, I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to charge you to tell you that. That's it. And if you don't pay it, I don't care. You don't take your machine. I've thrown people out of here. Absolutely. Absolutely. I usually just drive people away. Like, I'm not playing games, right? The thing gets gone over properly, or I don't look at it because I don't want to be fooling around with your nonsense, especially on these older machines. I mean, I love these older machines, but if they're broken, they're broken. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll look at a machine and I'll give a price, like a basic quote to sort of clean it up, give it a good look-see, move everything around. And I love to take the pictures and the videos and send it over to them. And if I find something I really don't like, I would be like, bro, you might want to think about selling it as a parts machine or whatever. But, on rare occasion, I'll offer to buy it. But I don't even like doing that, because the potential customer might smell a rat. Oh, you want it? No, I walk away. If they want to give it to me, or if then they say to me, would you like to buy it? Well, that's different. Or is there a way I can trade it for something? That's different. And on some of my ads, I put down some trades acceptable. It really is up to me, what it is and what you have. I do occasionally do that. That's fair, But no, I don't care if it's a lawnmower or whatever. They all get done the same way, or I don't do it. And the pricing is almost always the same, really. Plus or minus a little bit, depending upon what's needed. This big red one, I told him, I said, your rubber wheel, drive wheel is getting a little bit low. There was a lot of deposition on the aluminum, the aluminum wheel. I showed him all of that. And there is a bearing that is kind of beaten around in the housing, and I showed him that. I said, depending upon how much snow we get and how often you use it, the thing's 20 years old, okay? Well, I don't know. I mean, if we don't get a lot of snow, it could be a lot of years before you have a problem with it. And then you can decide if you still want it or sell it or whatever. I said, if you do want to fix it, or it does break in another year or two, well, the time to fix that bearing, since if I replace the wheel, the rubber wheel, everything's got to come apart. So when everything comes apart, then I'll fix the bearing issue and everything else. And it'll probably be like a couple $100. And if you need any other service or whatever. But it's a 20-year-old tank of a machine, and I don't know, it would be a lot of money to replace it with something new. So sometimes a few $100 charge, if I've been the mechanic on it, that's not bad, if I've been the mechanic on it. Yeah. Isn't he 90 plus? Yeah, the guy with the little gray that's next door, yeah. Yeah, he's like 90 plus. Let him run it to the ground. Well, that's what I figured. Right. He almost did already. I fixed it for him. They used it a couple of times. And he said, I did his son's too. And he said to me when I dropped it off, he goes, yeah, my son's isn't starting either. I said, of course not. Right. Because he's not going to take care of it any more than you. If anything, he'll take care of it less than the 90-year-old. Because I know the 90-year-old, he's had a lot on his plate, but he's more likely to take care of something. Yeah. His house was immaculate. He just moved into this little cottage and everything, As soon as you go over there, because the Italians, as soon as you go over there, I'm like, ooh, the smells are coming out. Oh, I smell it. Yep. But his son doesn't take care of anything. He's the guy, Brett, that got I used to have the floor polisher. It's not a sander. It's the one that runs the big orbital, what usually you put those nasty different grit, like 3M Scotch-Brite pads on the bottom. I used to use that in here to polish the floor and strip it and polish it and all that. And I got it from his son-in-law, my neighbor, and because they had a little business for a little while. Well, when they bought a deli, they didn't run the deli right. So the IRS took money and whatever, and they closed it up. It was in the deli. And I didn't want to give it back to them. I didn't want to give it to them because I knew it was going to disappear. I knew it was going to disappear. And they wouldn't take care of it. They don't care. They didn't care. I'm like, am I ever going to see this thing again? Nope, never saw it again. Nice big, chrome and aluminum machine. And I don't lend out tools, by the way. It really wasn't mine, but it was given to me because they kind of knew that I would use it and I would take care of it. I kept it in the shed. Sometimes it was in here. I think like once or twice a year I would use it. Now I have tiles to replace. I would love to have it because when I go to put the new tiles down, I have nothing to buff it in. You know, I don't have a machine to sort of smooth the edges and, you know, make everything nice again. There's paint on the floor and there's scrap on the floor. I would love to run it again. I guess I could go rent one. We'll see. After I replace the tiles, if the tiles are sticking up a lot and it looks really bad, then I might have to go rent one for the day. I'll probably get a smaller one. This was a big one, like the ran in orbit. And you're holding on to it. You're like, oh yeah, cleaning the floor, buffing the floor. Now, those things are so cool. But they don't take care of anything. They don't care. I think we care about machines. Everybody else could give a crap less. You know? Yeah, occasionally I put my ads on Marketplace, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. When I put them up, I mean, I haven't put that many up lately. I mean, I have a whole bunch of machines back there to go over, and I'll put them back up. But they sell. Marketplace is like it's a good avenue to get rid of stuff for the most part. That and word of mouth is the best way to get rid of it. But I'm really particular. So if people start asking me dumb questions, I don't answer them. I'll put things like, you know, runs good. I went over it, and they won't read it. It's in the usually runs great. I oil change, tune up, whatever, but they won't read it, and they'll ask me, runs good. Oh, you're done. Delete. I'm not answering that. I said it ran good. You want me to repeat myself? I don't understand. They just ask me, is it available? Is it available? Is it available? And then crickets. Yes. Crickets. Like, why do you ask that question? Don't you have anything else to do? You're sitting there. What are you sitting there like this, just going, well, let me just hit the auto thing. Click. Let me just hit the auto thing. Click, swipe. Oh, maybe I like that too. Let me hit the auto thing. Is it available? Click, swipe. That's what they're doing? I mean, don't these people have anything else to do? Are they that bored? And then, like, I'll get messages at like 2:33 a.m. in the morning. Like I'm supposed to put it on mute all the time. You don't have the common sense to recognize that somebody in your area is selling something and it's fucking 3 a.m. in the morning. Like I have to put it on silence. What happened to humanity? You know? Joyce says, first time I used mine, it took me for a ride. Yeah, right? Yeah, it does. Yeah. Yep. You got to get used to it. Yeah, they're pretty nice machines though. For these like old style floors, they're the best. You know, you don't want anything too aggressive. I was going to use it in the house just to kind of clean up my floor before because I don't care if there's, I don't want to sand it again. You should see, my floor is so old, it's 100 years old. I don't want to sand it again. I was going to use it in the house, just buff it up, clean it up, vacuum it off, give it a quick wash with something and lay something down. I know a lot of people like to put like the linseed oil and with the beeswax mix, and there's a few other products that have been out there now that are very similar to that. It just seals the floor with kind of like an oily wax instead of laying poly on it, because you can't really sand it anymore. And all it really needs is to be sealed, like just more or less, you know, and a little bit of a stainage to it. I don't want to put poly on it again. You know, there's not a lot left of the floor. I mean, a lot of that stuff is old Southern pine. Almost everything here is Southern pine. This building was mostly Southern pine. It's old growth. You know, the trees that made these buildings were from the time of, I don't know, had to be before maybe even the 1700s, because there's people buried back there that are from the 1600s. So, yeah, they're old trees, you know, and I try to reuse a lot of that lumber, but I don't want to screw it up. See, it gets frustrating. There are times when I post my phone number and ask for a call instead of a PM, right? Yeah, sometimes you might be better off, you know, but I don't want people calling me either. Text is fine. You know, at least the text I can ignore it or get to it when I have time, you know, instead of being interrupted all the time, because nobody needs full access to me other than my family. I'm usually got my hands in something. With a greasy or no call, no response, right? Yeah, I don't understand. If you're interested in it, aren't you interested in it? Or you just... It's got to be what it is. I can't think of anything else. I mean, to be that bored. I mean, if you want something, you're interested in doing it. Those are they call them window shoppers. It's like the new version of window shoppers. Or the ones that go into the store and touch everything and then leave, right? Pull things out of bags or whatever and leave it on the floor. They try it on, they leave it in a pile, right? They don't even buy anything. Yeah, VM, yeah. So pretty cool though. So Big Mike, that's the status on all of that. The parts tractor's out. I wanted the parts tractor out. The other day it was really nice out, so I moved the parts tractor out, did a bunch of other things, and I wound up prepping for the storm. What I wanted to do was take some of the shrouds off of his motor and just give it a quick wash. Drag the hose through and everything, and then put everything away. And then I wanted to finish cleaning his motor and make up a parts list, because that's the good motor that you see hanging on the chain fall. And make up a parts list, and then put it on a dolly off to the side, and then take care of a couple of little things, and then bring his nice tractor in and pull the motor out. And by then the parts would be in and whatever. And then just clean a few things up and drop in, the good motor. And eventually we'll take apart the beat motor and we'll see what's going on with that. And then someday I'll take my motor apart as well. But I don't like to disable my tractor because I'm always using it. It's such a useful tool here. Baba says, hey, Arch, any updates on the new channel? Yeah, I did some more stuff. I uploaded a few more things to it. Not a lot, but I did record some more footage. Well, then I got sidetracked with all of this, but I recorded some more footage. I uploaded a few things, and I did want to do like an intro, like a 10-minute intro sort of kind of thing. Like, hey, I'm Arch. This is me. This is what I did. I recorded, but I didn't finish it. I didn't lay anything on it. I figured, let me record it. Let me lay the overlays and the B-roll on it, and then sit back and go, do I want this? Because I don't know, right? And I'm thinking, if it's 10 minutes and I don't ramble on and I put the B-roll and I'm concise, I'll load it up there, and then I don't know if that will actually be the first video, but it will be up there. And there's a place on my page, on our pages, where you put stuff like that. I do have a video of like a really nice Toro lawnmower, and I kind of do a spin around. It's got some music. I don't say anything. I don't remember how to do that. I don't remember where that goes, because remember, it's been a long time since I started a channel. So I was thinking about putting that video there. 10 minutes or less. If you make it 10 minutes, you get a commercial in the middle, right? Because if somebody actually starts to watch it, I don't know. I have no idea. So I recorded a few things. I put some music up. And there was one video I did about, it's a little bit longer, but it's about the internet issues that I had. With the way the internet is, and them ripping us off. And most people don't know that they're getting ripped off, and all the troubles I had and how I fix it, how I had to fix it. Unbelievable. So I did like 3 videos on that, and I had to keep compressing them down, because it's kind of a complicated thing, to describe, right? And then I wanted to show like the fixes, and then I wanted to add in a little bit about cabling, because one of the things I need to do now is I need to put all new cables here. So I need like Cat 7, and either I'll drop it in the ground, or I'll pull it through my pipe run, that, my channel, that conduit that goes through the ground, or I don't know. But I'm losing out on a lot of speed. It's not all that expensive to do. It's just a pain in the neck. And then I have some computer issues. I did get this. Hold on, let's do a quick P run. Yeah, see, my stream is excellent right now. It says excellent. So it's very good quality. And so we are at an hour 12. Let's just put, I want to stay on a little bit longer. But let's just run the lady. And because I do need... All right, it's time to wipe the seat. She's got to learn to wipe the seat, right? If you're going to stand up to pee, all I ask is that you wipe the seat when you're done. You don't want to flush to save water. Okay, not a fan, but just wipe the seat. Can you just wipe the seat? It's like last week I was saying, your family, you're in the bathroom and your family's like, how much longer are you going to be in there? Well, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be in here. I was just about ready to fire off a salvo, right? Drop a depth charge, Mac. Are you guys ready? Drop the depth charge. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be in here. Oh, I got to fire a salvo. You want to hear? You want to stick around? You want to listen? Are you listening through the door? Like, why did people ask you how much longer you're going to be in there? I don't know. I wasn't timing it. Hopefully, if everything works out all right, we'll be able to get out of here without too much effort. What if you're kind of having a problem in there? Why do people got to ask? Yeah, so Mike, that's not a bad idea. I think Mike's saying, make something out. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because it's probably not worth selling. I could put it up. Lift the seat and wipe the bowl. Yeah, get it clean, right? See these people now, one of the things that they're doing, they're licking toilet seats, eating Tide Pods. What's that? What is that? I don't understand. Yeah, make something out of it, because, all I could ask is like $100. It needs work, that big fan, right? That is one angry-looking thing. So Big Mike has the nice one, which is two-stage. This one here I showed you is just a single stage. It's still a nice machine, but I do like the idea of possibly making something out of it, which I enjoy. And, I want to see, I just wanted to see, I didn't get to see it yet. I just wanted to see if I was able to record the footage of the plasma cutter. I did get to use the plasma cutter again. And the piece of steel I was cutting, Trump said not to eat the Tide Pods. Yeah, let me go see if I have that piece of steel in the other room. Hold on, I want to go grab it. Just fun to play with, neat stuff, So I did get to do something fun. A ruler. Let me see if I can find a ruler, too. I'm looking for my ruler. Oh, I hit dinging. There's my ruler. Shit's everywhere. Here it is. That's a lot of dinging. You guys hear that? That's a lot of dinging. That's what it sounds like when the family are chatting with each other. That's just what you hear. It's like, or when Contractor Mike is texting me. Contractor Mike doesn't write a whole bunch of stuff and then send it. He writes a couple of words, sends it. Couple of words, sends it. It's like frantic. It's like frantic dinging that goes off on my phone. It's bizarre. Oh, it's still a little cold in here. Hold on, the floors are cold. Yeah, it's still a little cold in here. Let me see what all this dinging is about. So much dinging, so little time. Yeah, I want to see what size piece of steel this is, because I was surprised. Oh, it is family oriented. Yes, it is. Let's see. Christina, how did the sausage and peppers come out? Yum, so good. Oh, they're making food. I just folded up all our clothes and packed them up in our bags. Yeah, they're going to get ready to marshal off to the next state. So what is this piece here? You saw a little bit of it. Yeah. That's a nice big heavy piece. So 50 amps, and I had to turn, so that's a 1/2-inch piece of steel. Yeah, I'm measuring it right now. That's a 1/2-inch piece of steel I burned off. I got it up to 50 amps, and I turned the pressure up. They say 90 max, or is it 60? I forget. And one of the things I noticed, too, is that when you start, I had to cut on an angle, on a weird angle. So when I did that, what can happen is the torch will go out. And what I found is that if it can't really get an arc and a plasma started if it's in too far on the cut. To trigger it again and get the plasma really roaring is you got to come back towards an edge. You come back towards an edge or a solid piece, it lights off like a gas torch. So I'm I'm like, oh, I get it. But it cut through it. Let me see. I have it here. Let's go. Let's go to... I did it on my cell phone because I was afraid to fry my good camera because I wasn't sure which way the sparks were going to go. Is it here? No. Is that it? I don't know where I put it. It should be here somewhere. Isn't this it? I hope I pressed record.
All right, I'm going to try to hold it upside cylinder.
Oh, okay.
And this
That's
went
different.
to the rear of the...
So I might have put it in the wrong spot. What is today? 20. I don't know where I put it now. That's all of that. I don't know what I did with it. I know I took it off the phone. It's got to be under Samsung. Let's back up. Let's go down again. I did it right before I went live, so maybe I screwed it up. We're looking for something with the 2026 date. This is the Samsung folder. And 2025. We're looking for 2026. This is it here. Oh, maybe I didn't transfer it. Is it under the Galaxy one? I don't think so. I could put through again. Oh, let me come back. Actually, hold on. Wait, let me move this. Let me move it back to here. Let me come back. Somebody's dinging me. I'll rip it off the phone again. Who's dinging? Yeah, it's them. Let's see. It'll trigger it. Samsung. Here is Samsung 2026 archive. Import. Because I didn't erase it yet. Oh, wait. Maybe it didn't record it. Maybe I didn't record it. Yeah, maybe I didn't. I'm not seeing it. It doesn't see anything. Oh, well. I don't remember. But I ripped the hell out of it. And it did a nice job. I was pretty surprised. I might not have pressed record. I don't know. I was so busy doing stuff. But I didn't want to fool around with my cameras. It's kind of congested in there. And there's a lot of shit in the way. And I'm like, ooh, I don't want to knock anything over or have a problem. And so I'm not sure which. I kind of like laid out everything so that the sparks would kind of go in a certain direction. But like, I don't want to have it splash on a lens or something like that. I mean, a lot of YouTubers will tell you they make that mistake and they try recording something with a nice camera when they're welding or whatever, and they ruin the lens and they ruin the camera. So I'm like, well, you know, if I ruin this thing, it's not the end of the world, right? But I guess I didn't press record. I don't know. What happened? Joey Z. They leave? Who's leaving? It's not me this time. What's the name of the new channel? Oh, it's AGT&A. In case he's still here. Let's see. It's not me this time. Mad says, the snow thrower on your Sunstar was moving quicker than the auger on a walk-behind snowblower. Yeah, it will run even faster than that. Yeah, AGT&A, something like that. And Arch, I have to go be safe. Okay, Joey. Thanks for stopping in. Hopefully I got to you in time. I try to catch up with, you know, you guys know I always try to catch up with what's going on in the chat. That's like my primary mission. Right? Hey, TJ. Yeah, TJ's coming in late. Was almost ready to leave. So I got all that good stuff done. And here's the other thing I was doing. Where did I put it? So what's going to be on my other channel is obviously tech stuff and computer stuff. Well, everybody knows, I was talking about it last week a little bit, everybody knows that the prices of everything going up. Silver is going up ridiculously. It will eventually crash, and then it will go back up again because there's a need now for it. and our financial system is crashing. So part of the need, I mean, sooner or later, every financial system crashes. Ours happens about every 70 years. And the last time it happened was in early 70s when we came off the gold standard. So they tied it to fuel, Saudi oil and what have you. So it was called the petrodollar. Now, nobody wants our dollar, right? And with the BRICS nations and everything, I mentioned that what they want, everybody now wants hardware, hard goods, real economic stuff, not fake, just fake crap. Fiat currency and stuff. They want gold. They want silver. They want platinum. They want, you know, they want food. They want land. They want real estate. Every country is looking for it. Of course, we're on the hunt for it ourselves. And that's making a lot of the electronics in everything go up in price. But one of the big things that's been on YouTube lately is, so buying new computers with the new RAM and the new type of hard drives that are out there, they're, you know, digital drives, they're solid state drives. Well, the used market is having a lot of problems because the cost of a used computer, like a car, it's becoming like guys can't flip computers anymore. And I've talked about this with trying to flip mowers, right? Everything is feeling it. Like it's going right down the line, all of our consumer goods. So buying a new computer to replace this one, I can't afford it. It's not going to happen. So I've been trying to upgrade this computer. And I want to put out some videos on my other channel about the upgrades, what I'm using. It's a much older computer that keeps getting upgraded. And I'm looking at some other hardware in the future that's even better than this, but still used. It's like a generation behind. But those prices are going up because people are realizing, like myself, holy crap, I can't buy a new one. Let me see what's out there that's the generation before. And YouTube is blowing up on that. Well, one of the problems I'm having is this card here is a USB-C adapter card. It's called a PCI, which is what this plugs into your computer along the PCI port. And you may recognize that. That's basically it's really the same as like an iPhone charging port. Very similar to it. So a lot of stuff today runs on that, and older computers don't have it. My video system connects to my computer through a card very similar to this. And you can see this one has 4 ports on it. Right? And it's got a port back here as well internally, but it has a power connector here. Mine has 1 port. It's twice as fast as this, but it has no power connector. So it's taking its power from this circuit. And the problem is now that I have so many things plugged into my computer that I'm literally running out of power. And what suffers is when I start the computer up, the card that's in my computer does not register. So when I go to boot and I come up to Windows and I check my device manager, it can't see it. And so therefore I can't plug a camera in or run my video switcher. I have to shut the computer down and turn it off and then turn it back on again, dissipate the power, press the power button, turn it back. And this might happen 3 or 4 times. Wait for it to boot, go back into device manager, see if it saw it. If it didn't see it, I have to repeat it until I get it to see it. Otherwise, I can't plug my camera into my computer through OBS and my switcher because the computer can't see it. What a fucking pain in the ass. So this is the kind of stuff that I can put on my other channel. This one here is a little slower. It has more ports. So I can, like right now I can only plug one thing in. So I'll be able to plug more things in. But I think part of the problem is this one has a power connector on it. And because these things, well, a lot of people charge through USB-C. You can charge your phone through it. It's a very high speed, USB-C is a very high speed, high powered port. And that's the 2 problems I have with my older computer. I'm running out of power and I'm running out of the speed or the connectability to the processor and to the RAM because it's an older system and there's a lot of shit plugged in. So I need to find some time between everything else, clean up in here and disconnect my computer, bring it over, clean it up and install this, put everything back and set up my computer and see if this will fix it. some of these, the really good ones, are about $253, $260. This one was about $80. So they're not cheap. And this is the kind of stuff that is like flying off the shelves on YouTube right now because people that are interested in it, that they need solutions because they can't afford a new computer. So what do you do with an old computer? What can you do with it? Can I be a YouTuber? Can I connect cameras to it? Can I game with it? There's a lot of questions. We have answers. So since I have to do this crap anyway, right, I might as well shoot it, film it and put it on my other channel along with the other stuff. And that's part of the content for that channel. It doesn't belong on this channel, really. I mean, I can talk a little bit about it on live shows, whatever. And how do you connect it? What would you use it for? What are some of the specs? And that ties into with some of the music and everything, some of the stuff that I use in the equipment. How do you get the music into the computer? And then how do you overlay more music on top of it, right? How do you do all that and have it sync up? Which is another magical mystery tour, right? There's Rob. So let's see, what time is it? Yeah, so we're at an hour 32. I think we're good. I'm tired. I got to make sure I get prepped out for tomorrow. I got a lot of work to do. I have to switch everything over and push aside that poor old unit. I had fun fooling around with it, I got to say, but it was a long day of, it's not up on the bench. I'm on the ground crawling underneath it, struggling with a lot of stuff. It's old gear. And honestly, the only way you're going to know if an attachment like that is going to work on a tractor is you have to go through the pains of literally installing it and then testing it. And if that takes you all day to find out that it doesn't work right and it's not what you want, or it needs more work and more help and you're not ready to do it, that's what's involved. It's not a little push lawn mower. It's not even a snow blower. It's a big, heavy thing that is kind of complicated, and it's gotten old and it's tired. And you could fix it. It could be fixed. But the motor, I think, is really the key, is that I think I would wind up damaging the motor. And I could wind up like Big Mike with a somewhat disabled tractor with a motor that has an issue. And I don't want to take that chance. It works good with the plow. I have it at the point now where the plow works good. I get good enough traction. I can do everything else with it. I'm going to go back to what's safe and what works. Considering the storm is bearing down on me. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for stopping in.